Today we're going to talk about the law of sines, and the law of sines is really important because we use it when we don't have a right triangle. So now, if we don't have a right triangle, sine, cosine, and tangent aren't going to work because I can't label my hypotenuse. So what mathematicians came up with or discovered was that this law of sines works. So basically this law of sines is sine of an angle divided by the side across from it. So angle A or capital A matches up with the side across from it. Sine A over A, and we could set that equal to sine of angle B over side B. Or we could set it equal to sine of angle C over side C. Now, when we set up these proportions, we only need to use two of them. So let's just say I have these two. So I'm going to have two angles and two sides in my formula. In order to use the law of sines, we just have to have 3 out of the 4 pieces of information. So I either need 2 angles and 1 side, or I need 1 angle and 2 sides. And then I could solve. Now, just so you could see where the law of sines come from, let's say I have this triangle A, B, and C. So I don't have a right angle, so I can't use sine, cosine, and tangent. So what mathematicians figured out is, well, if I made an altitude, I would create 2 different right triangles. And let's call my altitude x. So then if I look at angle A, and let's say little a is across from angle A, little c is across from sine C, and little b is across from angle B. What we figured out is if I took the sine of angle A, it would be the opposite over the hypotenuse. So it's x over 6, or c. Then if I solve for x by multiplying by c on both sides, x equals sine of A times side C. Then they figured out, oh, we could do the exact same thing if I look at angle C. Sine of angle C equals opposite, which is x, over the hypotenuse of this right triangle, which is A. And again, to solve for x, we get A times sine C. So x equals sine A times C, and x equals A times sine C. So since they both equal x, we could just set them equal to each other. I'm going to move some stuff up so I have a little more room. If I set those two equal to each other, sine of angle A times side C equals x, or not x, sorry, equals A times sine of angle C. If I want to get all the c's on one side, I could divide this side by c and divide this side by c. If I want to get the a to the other side, I could divide this side by a and this side by a. So I end up with sine of angle A over side A equals sine of angle C over side C, which is just the law of sines. So this is why it works and how they derived it. We don't need to know all that necessarily. We just need to know this formula. So watch how it works on the inside left. So if I want to find the value of QS or X here, I want to set up my law of sines because this is not a right triangle. So I want to think about numbers and angles that I have that match up. So 54 is across from 8. So I could do sine of 54 over 8. And I'm going to set that equal to sine of R over X. Now, I don't have an angle for R, and that would be too many variables. But I notice that this is a triangle, and I have 37 and 54. So if I do 180 minus 37 and 54, I get 89. So this angle is 89 degrees. So it's sine 89 over x equals sine 54 over 8. Law of sines. The angle and the side across match up. Now I could just cross multiply to solve. X times sine 54 equals 8 times sine 89. Now sine 54 and sine 89 are just numbers. So if we have x times a number, to move it to the other side, I got to do the inverse, or divide by sine 54. So x equals 8 times sine 89 divided by sine 54. And I just want to type that in my calculator. 8 sine 50 or 89 divided by sine 54. And you get 9.88. And it said to the nearest tenth, so I always want to go back and check. So x equals 9.9. So try that example on the right. First, set up your law of sines with your proportion, then cross multiply to solve. And I'll show you the answer. So on this one, I got sine 82 over 29 equals, I'm trying to find angle C, so this is the one I want to find. So I'm going to choose sine C over 20. I'm not going to choose B and 24 because I'm not trying to find that one, and I can't figure out the angles because I only have one. So now I just got to cross multiply. So 20 times sine 82 equals 29 times sine C. So to get sine C by itself, I just want to divide by 29 on both sides. Now this is gone, and we're left with sine of C equals 20 times sine 82 over 29. If you wanted to make a decimal out of this, you could. 20 times sine 82 divided by 29 is 0.682943. So you want to go out a long ways because we don't want to round yet. So we're not done. So this is sine C equals this decimal. To get sine to the other side to isolate C, we have to use the inverse of sine, which is sine negative 1. So I'm going to write it up here so I have it. So sine negative 1 of 0.6829, decimal goes on forever, is equal to C. So you just got to type this in your calculator. Second sine, and then 0.682943. And we get C equals 43.07. It says to the nearest tenth, so C equals 43.1 degrees. So we figured out this angle.